what Rihanna needs to do before getting back with Chris Brown. I'm Hyla in Hollywood for the Daily Buzz on CelebBuzz.com.
You know, when you share history with somebody, then you tend to fall in love with somebody else. It's kind of difficult. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, is it such thing as loving two people?
Chris Brown wants to be like every other guy and get away with dating two girls at the same time. Shocking. Okay, Rihanna and Chris Brown, they have done little to hide their friendship, and many think it is leading back to a relationship between the two of them. Joining me from Los Angeles is marriage and family therapist, Dr. Sherry Myers. Doctor, what does Rihanna need to look out for if she's considering getting back in a serious relationship with this guy?
If she's truly considering returning to Chris Brown, she really has to watch for the signs. Right now, he's wooing her. He's telling her how sorry he is, like most abusers do. He says, baby, I'm never going to do that to you again. And she, because she loves him, because she really loves him, is being swayed. And she has to be very, very careful. Look for impulsive action. Look at how he gets pissed off. And both of them have to be willing to communicate.
Now, Dr. Myers, obviously, he has not dealt with his anger issues. Time and time again, we see him losing his cool, whether it's on Good Morning America, throwing a chair, whether it's on Twitter, throwing out racial and homophobic rants. It's evident that the guy hasn't figured out how to handle this yet. So if she is insistent on getting back in a relationship with him, what are some things that she needs to look out for to try and avoid his anger escalating to the point that it did a few years back?
See, this is the problem with an abusive situation, is it feels like the woman has to do something differently. They both need to get into counseling, and they both, before they ever consider getting back together, need a plan of action. So, and he's going to have to own his triggers. Hey, I've got an anger problem, and he has to guarantee that he's working on it, not just by talking, but by actually getting into therapy and working on it, because he's been acting like a baby. And if he really wants her back and wants to keep her, he better start growing up.
In general, is it ever really a good idea to get back with an ex? I mean, they're an ex for a reason. It didn't work out. I think sometimes when we move away from a relationship, we tend to forget the bad and only remember the good, and that kind of draws us in. But is there ever a good time to say, you know what, let me give this another go again?
I do believe that when you make up after a breakup for good reasons, because you're communicating, because you realize you love each other, because you have a plan to hold hands through future storms, and you're being realistic, not just caught in la-la land, and you realize we really want to make this work, you can. And sometimes relationships are even stronger because you appreciate each other more and know that relationships can end, and you really have a bond, if you truly have that bond, to make the relationship the best ever and make it a priority. Then it can work.
Dr. Myers, you know, if I listened to you more, maybe I wouldn't be single. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Get in on this story. We want your opinion. Use the hashtag #TheDailyBuzz. And for the latest stories breaking right now, head on over to CelebBuzz.com.